everyone, Assalamu alaikum. This is Dr. Tazeen, your mentor and course director for Study MRCPI, and we are here with another YouTube series for all of you for your MRCPI Part 2 written exams. I'm going to discuss two very important topics in this session, and this is about venous thromboembolism and then it is Irish maternity early warning scoring system. If you have not subscribed the YouTube channel of Study Medic, subscribe now and just click on the bell icon so that you can stay updated with the upcoming sessions. And before start of the session, just remember one thing, that keep passion and dedication alive. That is the key to clear these exams. And for the last few days, just put all excuses aside and remember that you are capable, you are well prepared, and you are ready to excel in this exam. About the venous thromboembolism risk assessment should be repeated at every hospital admission, after delivery, and on discharge. Venous thromboembolism remains the leading cause of maternal mortality in UK and Ireland, and it accounts for 11% of all maternal deaths. Absolute risk of venous thromboembolism in pregnancy is low, which is less than 1 per 1,000 deliveries. Highest risk period for venous thromboembolism is in the postpartum period, and inherited thrombophilias are associated with increased risk of venous thromboembolism, preeclampsia, intrauterine growth retardation, placental abruption, and stillbirth. Now we have to understand that how we can take we have to remember the most important clinical situations and what is the recommended management for these clinical situations. If it is a previous venous thromboembolism, most cases and frequently tested exam area, antenatal low molecular weight heparin prophylaxis is given, and then postpartum low molecular weight heparin for 6 weeks. And the exception is single venous thromboembolism provoked by a major transient risk factor which is not related to estrogen or pregnancy. If it is previous venous thromboembolism with resolved major transient risk factor and no other risk factors are there, then antenatal surveillance is carried out, and then in the postpartum period, low molecular weight heparin thromboprophylaxis is given. Antithrombin deficiency or multiple thrombophilias, the patient should be referred to specialist obstetric hematology for the individualized management. The agent of choice is low molecular weight heparin, and the advantages associated with low molecular weight heparin are that it is a predictable dose response, no routine monitoring is needed, and there is low risk of heparin induced thrombocytopenia and osteoporosis. The agents which are not recommended in pregnancy, they are oral direct thrombin inhibitors and oral anti-factor 10A inhibitors like apixaban and rivoxaban. And restricted use is basically fondaparinux and IV direct thrombin inhibitors only for severe heparin allergy, and they are prescribed by specialists only. The prophylactic dose of low molecular weight heparin is once daily, and it is weight adjusted regime. The routine monitoring is not required if the baseline platelet count and renal functions are normal. Platelet and renal monitoring is not ongoing monitoring is needed if the initial results are normal, and anti-factor 10A monitoring is considered if the woman is extremely body weight. Okay, on the extremes of body weight means low BMI or high BMI, renal impairment or severe preeclampsia, then hematology advice should be sought. Epidural and regional anesthesia should do not administer or remove epidural catheter until more than 12 hours after last prophylactic low molecular weight heparin dose, and restarting low molecular weight heparin after neuraxial block, it can be started at more than 6 hours after epidural catheter removal or spinal anesthesia. All these points, they are very important points, and they are your exam tested areas. If the woman had emergency cesarean section, low molecular weight heparin should be given until discharge or longer if additional venous thromboembolism risk factors are present. If the elective cesarean section is the surgery, then low molecular weight heparin should be given while in the hospital. Postpartum risk assessment should be carried out. Repeat venous thromboembolism risk assessment is required in all women in the postpartum period after delivery. And women, they should continue low molecular weight heparin for at least 6 weeks postpartum, those who have received antenatal low molecular weight heparin. Thrombophilia, and if there is family history of thrombophilias but there is no previous venous thromboembolism, then low molecular weight heparin should be given for 6 weeks in the postpartum period. And breastfeeding anticoagulants, basically low molecular weight heparin and warfarin, they both are safe during breastfeeding. But remember for warfarin that it should be avoided at 6 to 12 weeks in the antenatal period, as it is associated with embryopathy and fetal congenital defects. Venous thromboembolism cases, they always require specialist multidisciplinary management, and obstetrician as well as hematologist should be involved. Preconceptional counseling should be there, and therapeutic anticoagulation, if it is there, it requires throughout pregnancy. Okay, and warfarin management is also very very important. As I mentioned, that warfarin is associated with embryopathy and congenital abnormalities. So switch to low molecular weight heparin preconception, or change from warfarin to low molecular weight heparin within 6 weeks of conception. Post delivery anticoagulation, how to start prophylactic dose low molecular weight heparin at 6 hours postpartum, escalate to therapeutic dose at 24 hours if no excessive bleeding is there. So here basically the most important point which we should remember is that after delivery, when in the post delivery period, even if the woman, if she was taking therapeutic dose of low molecular weight heparin, and we have to restart low molecular weight heparin in the post delivery period, it is started at a prophylactic dose at 6 hours postpartum, and then we escalate to therapeutic dose. Warfarin teratogenicity, as discussed, so it should be stopped before 6 weeks of gestation. So there are certain thromboprophylaxis regimes in pregnancy for the women with mechanical heart valves. First of all, preconceptional counseling is very very important. There should be individualized care from combined obstetric as well as hematology services familiar with the management of women with the mechanical heart valves, and they should be converted to low molecular weight heparin from warfarin as soon as pregnancy is confirmed. Okay, so the most important thing, the women who are having mechanical heart valves and they are on warfarin, so preconceptional counseling is important. They should be guided that it may need changes to low molecular weight heparin, and then conversion to low molecular weight heparin should be made as early as pregnancy is confirmed. Therapeutic low molecular weight heparin in BD dosing with peak anti-10A levels adjusted as per manufacturer's guidelines, or warfarin from 13 weeks until late third trimester. If on warfarin, switch to low molecular weight heparin at 34 to 36 weeks. First, we are switching at 6 weeks, okay, or before 6 weeks. Then, if again we have switched the woman from 13 weeks onwards to warfarin, then from warfarin, she should again be switched to low molecular weight heparin at 34 to 36 weeks. Switch to IV unfractioned heparin infusion before planned induction, or stop once labor starts, or 4 to 6 hours prior to planned lower segment cesarean section. Recommends unfractioned heparin or prophylactic low molecular weight heparin 4 to 6 hours post delivery. Therapeutic low molecular weight heparin dose should not be commenced until at least 24 hours after delivery. This point is very very important, that even if the patient is taking therapeutic dose of low molecular weight heparin and in the post delivery period we have to start heparin again, we are going to start with prophylactic dose first, and we have to wait for 24 hours until we are escalating from prophylactic dose to therapeutic dose. Warfarin may be recommended after 48 hours but will need close monitoring to maintain safe therapeutic range. So, as we have shifted the patient from 34 to 36 weeks to low molecular weight heparin, then we are aware that 4 to 6 hours after delivery, we are starting unfractioned heparin or prophylactic low molecular weight heparin. We will start therapeutic dose of low molecular weight heparin after 24 hours, and we can shift the woman to warfarin, but we have to wait for 48 hours, and warfarin can be recommenced after 48 hours. Therapeutic low molecular weight heparin should be continued until international normalized ratio is within the therapeutic range. So we should be knowing about the therapeutic range of INR, and we have to maintain that INR until that point. We have to take care that therapeutic dose is ongoing. Then the risk assessment tool for venous thromboembolism in the pregnancy. Basically, women with the personal history of venous thromboembolism, they are given antenatal and postnatal low molecular weight heparin and referral to the combined obstetric and hematology clinic. Pre-existing risk factors are family history, BMI more than 30, maternal age more than 35, and parity more than 3, smoking, and medical comorbidities. Medical comorbidities are varicose veins, paraplegia, hematological conditions like sickle cell disease, polycythemia, essential thromboasthenia, then other mycoproliferative disorders, nephrotic syndrome, IV drug abusers, inflammatory bowel disease, and other relevant risk factors. Women with 3 or more of the above risk factors, we have to consider low molecular weight thromboprophylaxis. Transient risk factors are hospital admission or postpartum, okay, surgery in the pregnancy or purpurium, hyperemesis, dehydration, ovarian hyperstimulation syndrome, systemic infection, immobility more than 4 days, bed rest, preeclampsia, excessive blood loss more than 1 liter or blood transfusion, multiple pregnancy, assisted reproductive techniques, postpartum wound infection. Okay, and then this is the dosage calculation, that how we have to dose calculate the dosage for various agents for enoxaparin, dalteparin, and tinzaparin, and we have to keep in mind the weight of the patient, which is taken in kilograms. Always remember that the dosage of low molecular weight heparin or anticoagulants, it is calculated based upon weight in kgs, not on height to weight ratio or BMI. So that is most important thing which you have to remember, and you should be able to understand that where the weight of the woman is and what would be the dose for various agents that should be remembered for your exam. This was about venous thromboembolism, high yield areas or high yield points, which are your exam tested areas as well. Now, moving forward to the Irish maternity early warning scoring system. So, basically, we use Irish maternity early warning scoring system for clinically pregnant women and up to 42 days postpartum. So, during which time frame they are used, you have to remember from pregnancy till 42 days postpartum, and they support the clinical care but does not replace the clinical judgment. Clinical concerns alone should trigger medical review. Frequency depends upon the individual clinical conditions, that how frequently we have to make the observations. And for the blood pressure measurement, use correct cuff size. If mid-arm circumference is more than 33 centimeter, standard cuff may overestimate blood pressure. Maternity units must ensure minimal delay between escalation trigger and doctor arrival, and designation of senior doctor to be called should be agreed locally by the midwifery and medical leadership, and early involvement of multidisciplinary team and other specialties should be considered depending upon the clinical situation of the patient. And sepsis 6 bundle box should be customized for pregnancy to Irish maternity early warning scoring system escalation guidelines. So basically, the early warning scoring system is a bedside track and trigger system which is calculated from vital signs, and it identifies early signs of patient's deterioration. They are nationally agreed scoring system for the maternity care, and it detects life-threatening illness or pregnancy and postnatal in the pregnancy and in the postnatal period, as we are doing this scoring till 42 days after delivery. They are structured communication tools which are used in the healthcare, and that is ISBAR. It identifies situation, background, assessment, and then what are the recommendations for the patient. Full set of vital signs are important, and complete clinical observation set is indicated when we have to observe for the respiratory rate, temperature, heart rate, blood pressure, neurological response, and pain scoring. And urine testing for clinical assessment is mandatory on admission. After admission, frequency depends upon the clinical assessment, diagnosis, and care plan. So, international Irish maternity early warning score charts are used for all observations, and they are filed with antenatal and postnatal sheets. And observation sheets must prioritize clinical care and quality. For the respiration, it is mandatory observation at every monitoring event. 11 to 19 breaths per minute are taken as normal or accepted parameters, and the count is for 60 seconds if abnormal. Tachypnea, strong evidence of sepsis until proven otherwise. Then for oxygen saturation, it is measured only if the respiratory rate is abnormal or the patient is having certain specific condition. The normal value is taken 96 to 100%. Artificial nails and poor perfusion can reduce its accuracy. Temperature is recorded using correct site and equipment, and 36 to 37.4 is taken as normal parameter. Swinging fever or hypothermia can indicate sepsis, and consider early sepsis screen in these situations. Heart rate is taken, radial pulse is preferred, manual check if abnormal electronic reading is there. 60 to 99 is taken as normal parameter, and persistent heart rate above 100 beats per minute requires investigations. Blood pressure is recorded systolic and diastolic separately. Systolic 100 to 139 millimeter of mercury, and diastolic 50 to 89 millimeter of mercury. Correct cuff size is essential. Mid arm circumference, if it is above 33 centimeter, it requires large cuff. Hypotension is a late sign. Hypertension criteria is 140 by 90 twice, 4 hours apart, or 160 by 100 once. So remember this, that when you will label or when you will say that this is hypertension, when there are two readings of 140 by 90 millimeters of mercury and they are 4 hours apart, or there is one reading of 160 by 100. Urine analysis is required on admission. Frequency is based on clinical condition. Document as negative, trace positive to 4 positive. Protein may indicate infection or hypertension. Nitrites, they suggest UTI. Ketonuria can indicate fasting or diabetes. Neurological response is you have to assess the best response. Alert should be normal, and any drop in the consciousness is significant and it must be acted on immediately. Pain score is scored as 0 to 10 at full observation set. 0 means no pain, 10 means extreme pain, and refer if pain control is inadequate. And total yellow and pink score is very, very important, that add triggers at each observation. Escalate if any yellow or pink is there, and escalate immediately if clinically concerned, regardless of the score. So the frequency of recordings for the observations, the general principles are that all women who are presented or admitted full set of vital signs as baselines on Irish maternity early warning scoring system should be there. And the women should be, the eligible women are those for confirmed pregnancy up to 42 days. Women in labor, you should record on partogram. Irish maternity early warning scoring system is not used during labor and transfer from labor and recovery. Last observations must be documented on the Irish maternity early warning scoring system before transfer, and ongoing frequency is determined by the initial findings and clinical conditions. The low risk women are those women who are antenatal low risk inpatient, full set on admission, and therefore as clinically required should be carried out. And postnatal low risk inpatient women, full set after birth, then pain scoring should be carried out, and then assessment should be carried out until discharge or unless otherwise indicated. Okay. The high risk patients or specific conditions, hypertensive disorder, full set including urine analysis daily, blood pressure 4 hourly thereafter, suspected or confirmed infection, full set daily, and then pain score, TPR, and AVPU 4 hourly. Other clinical concerns, full set daily and thereafter as required, emergency situation as clinically required, and blood transfusion follow local transfusion guidelines. For the post cesarean section or post surgery monitoring, first 15 minutes every 5 minutes, next 1 hour every 15 minutes, next 1 hour every 30 minutes, next 2 hours every hour, next 48 hours every 4 hour, and thereafter daily until discharge the monitoring should be there. So now these are basically the trigger keys, all the values which when they are falling within the normal range, they are considered normal values, and the white zone is there. Okay, yellow zone is when the respiratory rate is 20 to 24, temperature is 31.5 to 35.1 to 35.9, or 37.5 to 37.9. Either it is hypothermia or hyperthermia. Heart rate is considered yellow between 50 to 59 or 100 to 119. Systolic blood pressure is considered in the yellow zone 90 to 99 or 140 to 159. Diastolic blood pressure 40 to 49 or 90 to 99 would be considered in the yellow zone. And the alert, the women, they should be alert, which is taken as normal value. Okay, so the respiratory rate, if it is less than 10 or more than 25, that is pink zone. Oxygen saturation less than 95, equal to or less than 95 is considered in the pink zone. Temperature less than 35 or more than or equal to 38. Heart rate less than 50 or equal to or more than 120. Systolic blood pressure less than 90 or more than 160. Diastolic blood pressure less than 40 or more than 100. And alert status, if there is voice, pain, or unresponsive, that is considered as pink zone. Now, how we have to monitor the patient? First of all, we should have the know about the triggers, consider context and complete full clinical assessment, implement measures to reduce triggers if appropriate, complete a full set of observations on Irish maternity early warning scoring system immediately, and inform the midwife in charge. If it is one yellow, repeat full set of observations or on Irish maternity early warning scoring system after 30 and before 60 minutes. If there are two yellows or one pink, call the obstetrician to review. Repeat a full set of observations after 30 minutes. And if it is more than two yellows or more than two pinks or two pinks, then call the obstetrician, request immediate review, repeat a full set of observations within 15 minutes, and monitor continuously. All Irish maternity early warning scoring triggers, liaison with the midwife in charge, document all communications, including redefined plan of care and ongoing frequency of observations. If concerned about women, escalate care regardless of triggers. If action is not carried out as above, community midwife in charge must contact the senior obstetrician on duty and document all communication and management plans in the notes. Now we have to consider the maternal sepsis. Are two or more of the following sepsis criteria are present? Temperature more than or equal to 38 degrees centigrade or less than 36. Respiratory rate more than 20 breaths per minute. Heart rate is 100 or more than 100. White cell count is more than 16.9 or it is less than 4. Bedside glucose is more than 7.7 in the absence of diabetes, and acutely altered mental status of the woman is there. And if infection is suspected after medical review, intervention within 1 hour and complete the sepsis 6 bundle. Take 3. So what are the 3 which you have to take? Appropriate cultures, full blood count and lactate, and start urine output charting. Okay, so what the 3 you have to give? Maintain oxygen. So oxygen should be given 94 to 98% saturation needs to be maintained. Consider IV fluids, bolus should be given. Okay, and IV antibiotics should also be given. Okay, so all these things you have to take care while you are following the patient for these observations, and these should be recorded on Irish maternity early warning scoring system, and you should escalate on time, which is very very important for the safety of the mother. I hope these topics, they will help you for your exam preparation. If you have not subscribed the YouTube channel of Study Medic, subscribe now. Stay updated with the upcoming topics for the YouTube series. And we at Study Medic wish you all the very best for your upcoming exams. Have a great day. Thank you.